They didn't see him. Here he is down court. Luka with 2 for the win. Tipped up and in. Will it count? LeBron James at the buzzer.
All right, good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Well, we just start the show with a little quick highlight. That's a quick little highlight. Thank you for being a part of the Sliwa Show. Thursday, March 27th, 8 a.m. on the dot. We got a great show lined up today. Ready to get going today. I'm ready to get going today. Been sitting here for like 6 minutes, just like, all right, well, when's the show going to get started? You know what? Why don't we just show a little quick LeBron tip-in yesterday against the Indiana Pacers to get things started. We got a lot going on today. It's going to be a fun show today. It's going to be a busy show today. Got a quote here for everybody, all queued up and ready to go. As I say that, I got opportunities multiply as they are seized. Opportunities multiply as they are seized. That's the quote for today. If somebody's got a quote out there that want to share with everybody, you think could be beneficial, put it in the comments. I'll get to it. All right, so here's what we got going on today. A lot going on today, by the way. I'm going to come to these comments here in just a second, but let me just kind of give everybody what the rundown is for today's show. And no guests today. Tomorrow's going to be a packed show as well, and I am going to have a guest. I'm going to actually have 2 guests tomorrow. I'll have to figure that out. And then also have the live for members as well after the show. But here's what we got going on for today. Obviously, the win that the Lakers had yesterday, how important, how clutch that win was, had to have it, and they got it. Really no margin for error yesterday. If you freaking screw up at the end of the game, which the Lakers did, now it's 4 losses in a row. Now it's 8 losses out of 11. Now it's dropping more in the standings. We'll talk about how significant LeBron's tip-in was yesterday. Luka postgame, I thought he said something that was significant. And it was basically thanking LeBron of passing him the ball to go take that final shot. I think that's significant. I tried mentioning it a little bit yesterday in the post-game show. I want to spend a little bit more time on it. Lakers at Bulls coming up tonight. Lakers, last time they played Chicago, they only gave up 146 points, so no big deal at all. No big deal at all. We'll look at the standings as well. If the playoffs started today, what would be the matchup for the Lakers? I'm probably going to do this about once a week or so, where we just, all right, if it started today, what does it look like? Who are they playing? We'll do a little bit of that. LeBron, obviously yesterday, unless you were under a rock, was on the Pat McAfee show. A few things came out of that that I think will be interesting to talk about. I had somebody in the postgame show tell me yesterday, this is such a distraction. So we'll get into a few things, some things that, people were taking strays from everywhere yesterday. Let's just say that from LeBron. So we'll spend a little bit of time on that. And then, of course, MLB opening day. So today, technically, it's opening day. I know Cubs and the Dodgers already played a 2-game set. Dodgers already won both of those games. I'm going to spend a little bit of time just talking about Dodgers and the San Diego Padres. I'm going to talk about both of those squads. You guys know I'm from San Diego. I'm a Padre fan as well. So we'll hit on a little bit from both of those perspectives. So I appreciate you guys hanging out. Thank you for being a part of the show. Where's your gear? If you got gear on, opening day, throw your hat on. Who's your squad? You guys know my squad. It's a big day. This is as good as it gets sometimes in the world of sports. So we'll come back to this when we get into opening day and we start talking about it. Come on now. Born and raised out in SD. Yeah, we've had some tough times out there. Still my team. Still my squad. So we'll spend a little bit of time on that as well. All right, let's take a look at some of the comments here and we'll keep things going here. I'm going to get into this one. Yeah, I'm going to get into this one. This one, I'm a big Brian Windhorst fan, so I'm with you on that one. I think Windhorst took a stray yesterday that, listen, I don't know what happens in the background, so how am I supposed to determine what should happen, what shouldn't happen? LeBron's perspective is LeBron's perspective, but I'm a fan of Brian Windhorst. Damn, this is early. T-Rong, imagine doing how many, everybody keeps talking about how many games the Lakers are playing and how many nights. You know what not enough people are saying is, How many post-game shows Slee was doing? Nobody's talking about that. I got a bummed ankle. My lower back, I went for a jog yesterday, is sore. I'm still here. Nobody's giving me credit. All right, a couple people here. Good morning. Good morning, Slee. Good morning, Go Lakers. Good morning, everyone. Sleeve Lind, this is for you. Yes, Ben. All right, let's see what else we got. Top of the morning. Okay, here we got. Let's get a couple of these quotes in here. Stand in the ashes of a million dead souls and ask the ghosts if honor matters. Their silence is your answer. Damn, Chris. Jesus. Kind of gave me chills right there. That's a great quote. Let's get another one here from Ruben. Your life does not get better chance. It's better by change. Your life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change. I like that. Good morning, Slee. Good morning, everyone. I heard this the other day. What you are not changing, you are choosing. Phenomenal as well. Really, really good. Okay, we got a lot of good quotes out there. So I appreciate you guys hanging out, being a part of the show. We're going to get the show started. I am going to show you guys one thing. So you guys know I've been going through my tea thing, right? You guys know I'm going through my tea thing, right? I'm doing all tea right now. That doesn't help because all that says is Mountain Coffee. Really good coffee shop in Lake Arrowhead. So I'm doing my tea thing. So then I got a company that reaches out to me. You guys ever heard of this? Magic Mind? All right, it's supposed to be good for the mind, the soul, everything else. Taking a shot this morning. All right. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe we do something. Maybe we don't. I'm not sure. But let's try it out. Get this in. Sell at some of the local grocery stores. Smells good. All green. Supposed to be super healthy. We'll find out. Supposed to help me concentrate. Give me a little bit of energy. We'll find out. Shout out to them. They're trying to show some love to the show as well. Let's get the show started. Thank you very much for being here. Lakers buzzer beater. LeBron gets a buzzer beater yesterday. Can I just talk about how that actually tastes really good? Can I just talk about here real quick how significant I thought last night's win was for the Lakers? They lost 7 of their last 10 games. Fallen in the standings. Remember, their peak was number 2. And they were at the number 2 spot for like 30 minutes, and then LeBron got hurt. They had gone through a stretch where they had won, I want to say, 12 games in a row against teams over 500. Everyone was starting to talk about the Lakers. Man, you know what? That's probably the team. That's going to be a problem coming out of the Western Conference. Yes, Oklahoma City Thunder are the Oklahoma City Thunder. However, LeBron and Luka in a 7-game set against the inexperienced Oklahoma City Thunder team, as in they don't have as much experience. I'm not telling you that they have no experience because they were in the playoffs last year. SGA has had some experience with the Clippers in the playoffs. Alex Caruso obviously won a championship with the Lakers. Isaiah Hartenstein has had some playoff appearances, but for the most part, a lot of these guys, it is still new for them. And then LeBron gets hurt. Then they lose 4 in a row. Then they start getting a little bit of health back. Dorian Finney, some of these guys. Then they decide to sit everybody during the Bucks game because Lakers were playing 6 games in 8 nights. And then next thing you know, it's this like avalanche where they're giving up a ton of points to teams like the Chicago Bulls, 146. They're giving up 120s here and there as well. And it's not looking good. The game against Orlando is the first game of a 4-game road trip, and Lakers get their ass kicked in Orlando. And then you got the Pacers, which is a tough team on the road, a team that's been playing really well at home, and the Lakers do not have. I think they're 3-4 games below 500 just that on the road. And you're kind of getting this feeling like, are they going to be able to stop the bleeding here? You still got a really tough schedule the rest of the way. You know, when they started this road trip out, they had 12 games left. 8 of their final 12 games were going to be on the road. And if you just play the odds of what the Lakers have done on the road, that means their final 12 games, they're going to be below 500. They're probably going to be 5-7, something along those lines. And then last night's game, there's some moments where Lakers look really good. Phenomenal second quarter. They come out the gate. Luka is balling. Austin Reeves is balling. These guys are really, really playing well in the first half, and you feel kind of comfortable with where the Lakers are. Not comfortable enough to where you're saying, hey, this is a wrap. Lakers are going to win this game. I don't think you could give them that type of confidence, but enough confidence to say there for a second, all right, I think this squad, I think they got a good shot of winning this game. Just come out in the third quarter, have a good third quarter, put yourself in a position that by the time the fourth quarter starts, you feel like you're potentially comfortable with where the Lakers are. It flips completely the other way. Whatever lead that the Lakers had, now it's a much closer game going in the fourth quarter because Indiana puts up 37 on the Lakers. And then LeBron comes out in the fourth quarter, only had 3 points going into the fourth quarter. Forget his streak of, double digits, and if he doesn't get to 10s, first time it happens in how long? Okay, that's a cool stat, but I just want to see the Lakers get a win. Fourth quarter starts, and LeBron actually starts putting his foot down, gets a couple buckets at the basket, going downhill a couple of times. Lakers build the lead all the way back up to 11, and you're like, great, Lakers feel good again. And then next thing you know, it's like you turn around, it's like, are Lakers down 1? The end of this game, Lakers are down 1. Indiana makes a run. Luka hit a 3 when Lakers were down 4. I think Miles Turner hit a 3 and Pacers went up 4. I'm like, that's probably a wrap. I don't think they're winning this game. Just too much momentum going to Indiana. And then Lakers, not really a good possession, shot clock winding down. Austin Reeves, I want to say, ends up finding Luka, and Luka hits a 3, and that 4-point lead went to 1. He misses that shot. That's ball game. We know what happens. End of the game. Lakers get a couple of stops. First, Dorian Finney-Smith takes a bad shot. Then Lakers hold Indiana to a bad shot. And then they got actually a chance to win the game down 1, 119-118. LeBron breaks off the rebound. Luka's a little worried to pass him. I'm going to play a clip here of Luka in just a second. Luka passes the ball to Austin Reeves. Reeves gives it to Braun. Braun back to Luka. Luka drives the ball, gets a perfect shot. Exactly what you want Luka doing. It rolls off. And Braun has the... How do I put this? The intelligence to not offensive goaltend, to wait for the ball to come off the rim, to tip the ball as quick as he can to get it off of his fingertips, just so with 0.1 seconds left to go and Lakers get that win. Did last night feel like it was a critical moment for the Lakers, or is it just me? Now, listen, for all I know, they get their asses kicked by the Chicago Bulls tonight, and maybe it won't mean as much. But it felt like last night was very, very important to the Lakers. Very, very important. It felt like last night, if they would have lost that game 119-118, yes, it was a close game. Yes, you fought against the Pacers. Yes, this, that, whatever you want to talk about. But doesn't it feel like if they lose that game yesterday, it would have been very significant? And I think by winning that game, I also feel like it's significant. And we'll see what the Lakers are obviously able to do now moving forward in tonight's game. There's a quick turnaround. They'll be back in action tonight. Lakers taking on the Chicago Bulls. It's like, bam, the season just keeps going. I think we were counting this out yesterday. After tonight's game, 2 more back-to-backs left on the season. So at least we're kind of getting towards the end of that. But just a big-time game yesterday, a big-time win for the Lakers. And obviously what I mentioned about that Braun piece of just getting that putback in with the amount of time that was left is as big as it gets. And they needed it. They had to have it, and they got it. Now, were there some moments at the end of the game? I don't know what the hell the Lakers were doing on defense at the end of that game. Man, there's some moments where the Lakers go into these lapses where it's like, I can't describe what is happening. Someone explain to me what is happening here. How are they giving up these layups so quick? How are they giving up layups where I look like I could get past Luka sometimes, or some of these defensive possessions that the Lakers had? So they also thought they had the game and then let their foot off the gas. That's the one thing I honestly don't understand about this squad. Why they think – sometimes I feel like they think they're better than they actually are, and they think they could take their foot off the gas. Yeah, that shit ain't going to work. It's definitely not going to work. And frankly, I don't think the Lakers they have individual talent, but that doesn't mean you have great team talent, at least not yet. Cohesiveness, the whole thing. Cannot take your foot off the gas. I feel like the Lakers have done that a couple different times. All right, let me look at a couple comments here, and then I want to get to what do we got here? Luka saying something in the post-game show that was, I thought, significant. All right, let's take a look at some of the comments here, see what you guys got to say, and we'll go from there. Barometer game. Which game? For tonight is a barometer game? Tonight shouldn't be a barometer game. I tell you what tonight should be. Tonight should be more of a payback game. You know? Tonight should be a prideful game. Tonight should be, we gave up 146 points and were embarrassed at home at Crypto.com Arena. Tonight should be significant for those reasons. So not barometer game. I would say more a payback game is the way that I would look at it. Because barometer game, let's put it this way. Last night would have been more of a barometer game because it was the Pacers, fourth place team in the Eastern Conference, and a team that they got a decent squad. I mean, Indiana definitely, I think, is going to win around, and the question is, what can they do after that? Probably not too much if they're playing Cleveland. I don't know. Is somebody telling me that they've played Cleveland well this year? I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to look at it, but the Pacers are obviously they're a nice team. They've done a good job this year. But not barometer game tonight. Good morning, Slee. Great game. Lakers delivered a Sliwa devastating left hook to win the game. Yeah. No, I know. You don't have to tell me. By the way, how many times did you guys see yesterday on Twitter and on Instagram Stephen A. Smith's combo that's there? LeBron put it out. Everyone was putting it out. I'm like, how did that video ever get out? I'm not trying to sit here and tell you guys I'm Muhammad Ali, but there are times that I look like, shout out RIP to the great George Foreman, who obviously passed away a couple days ago. Some of those combos out there made me look like I was Evander Holyfield. I just basically went through every heavyweight fighter that I used to watch growing up. Lennox Lewis, Riddick Bowe, going old school right there. Tommy, thank you, brother. I appreciate the super there. Yeah, it's a big game yesterday. And you know, something Tommy's saying here too that I think is significant. He puts on their great game. It really was a very entertaining, fun game, but only if your team wins. If the Lakers lose, then what does it really matter? I mean, I don't know how fun of a game that would have been if Indiana won 119-18. But if you were an NBA fan yesterday and you were watching that game and you thought to yourself, this is just an entertaining game and I don't have a dog in the fight, that's a badass game. That's a badass game. All right, let's keep going here. All right, let's see what we got here. All for ratings. Okay. A lot of people want to talk about Stephen A. Smith. Damn, the hell was going on yesterday? I think Stephen A. addressed it today. I actually have a clip of Stephen A. addressing all the stuff from yesterday as well, of why he thinks LeBron doesn't like him. So we'll get into that. No, last night's win was a moment of truth barometer game. Okay? They've been running for a couple of months now, and JJ is shortening the rotation, so it's even more stress on the legs. I think they will get back in it soon. Here's the good news, guys. And you know, I don't need to tell you guys, I know a lot of basketball fans on here, a lot of NBA fans on here, and a lot of the reason why I like reading the comments, because I know a lot of people on here know ball. Okay, so here's the beauty of the position that the Lakers are in. Just get through these couple of weeks. Obviously, you want to close out the season strong. If you're not in the playing tournament, you get 5-6 days off before the playoffs start. There's no more back-to-backs. You know, you're going to play a 2-game set at home. which means you'll be in LA for about 4 days. Then you're going to play a two-game set on the road, or vice versa. If Lakers start at home or they're on the road, whatever the case is. I mean, things really calm down once the playoffs start, but you also got those 5 or 6 days. So that's why it's also so important for the Lakers to keep trying to get W's here, stack up as many as they can here. We almost gifted a W to Indiana. I don't know what they were doing at the end of the game. There really are moments where it's like, what the hell is going on in these people's? What is happening here? All right, let's get a couple more here, and then I want to play something here from Luka on the postgame show. A huge record since our record in huge win since our record in Indy is awful. How LeBron handled that is genius. I kept watching it. I watched it a couple different times, in slow motion. Here's what LeBron had to decide, all in literally under a second. Is Luka's shot rolling in or is it rolling out? If it's rolling out, I got to time my jump to make sure that I'm there if the ball comes off the rim. If the ball comes off the rim, I got to make sure that it's completely off the rim and I don't have offensive interference. And then if it comes off the rim and I time it just right off of the rim, I can't let my fingertips sit on the ball too long because there's 0.321 on the clock. He had to do all of that in under a second. And he did all of it. And it was perfect. And there was 0.1 second left on the clock when that ball came off his fingertips. Pretty incredible. Let's see what else we got here. I still think Peter says, I still think DK needs to play more. Played again, only 5 minutes for 3 points and 1 shot. I think that was his exact stat line in the game against Orlando as well. I'm with you. I'd like to see Dalton Connect get a little bit more PT, but we'll see if that ends up happening or it doesn't happen. All right, let me play something here for everybody. All right, here we go. Oh, that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Let's go back. And then I want to play something for you guys, and then we'll go from there. All right. I'm going to rewind it a little bit here as I get ready to share my screen. Luka postgame. You guys tell me if this is something or nothing. Something or nothing here. Okay. After the game, Mike Trudell was asking Luka about, kind of that final possession. Let's let Luka explain what exactly was happening. And then he said something there that I want to point out.
First of all, when I got the rebound, he was on the court. He was asking for the ball, but
Luka gets the rebound. This is the final possession of the game. LeBron breaks. If you guys go see that final play, 2 Indiana Pacers are actually late on the break. And what Luka's trying to explain is LeBron probably calling for the ball once Luka gets the rebound, but Luka thought it was going to be a dangerous play to try to throw it. That's a full court pass. Got a couple Indiana Pacers. If it's not a perfect pass, it could be a turnover, and that could be game. So take a listen.
But I wasn't confident enough to make that pass. That 9 seconds to go. So then pass to AR, he passed to LeBron. I just saw how much confidence he has in me, and I really appreciate that to give me that final ball. I think we got a great look. Didn't make it, but LeBron was there, luckily.
We'll go back for a quick second on what he said, okay? This is why I'm playing this, and I'm not trying to be overly dramatic, but I thought let me play this out a couple different ways, and then I think you guys will understand what I'm referring to, okay? Did you hear what he said about LeBron? I'm going to play it one more time because I think it's significant.
I just saw how much confidence he has in me, and I really appreciate that too.
It just shows how much confidence he has in me, and I really appreciate that. Listen, I'm not telling you that LeBron's a selfish player because he's not. Go look at his career, and LeBron is the best comp for LeBron, I think, in some shape, way, or form, is to look at what Magic was and the type of player that he was. Magic was a guy where I got no problem passing the ball. I'm dishing the ball. Who's open? Who's running the break? Kareem in the block? I got you. James Worthy running on the break, perfect. Got Byron Scott to my left. I got Michael Cooper to my right. Somebody's getting the ball. That's how Magic Johnson operated. My favorite player that ever watched the game. I just love that style of basketball. LeBron is closer to that style than what, some of these other greats were. Think about LeBron think about Michael Jordan for a quick second. Jordan was, if you're not throwing a double team at me, it's disrespectful. Kobe was, I got two guys coming to double team me. Cool. I'll just spin baseline and take an 18-footer over two guys. It's just different the way these guys play. Their confidence level in their self, or make the right basketball play, or F the right basketball play. I'm the right basketball play. They got that much confidence in themselves. And that doesn't mean Magic and LeBron and some of these other guys don't have the same confidence, but just stylistically, they play different. I know LeBron is always willing to make that pass if he needs to. A lot of times he's got criticism for making that pass of, well, why isn't LeBron taking the last shot? Oh, you know what? LeBron's scared to take a game winner, blah, 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 everything that comes with it. I thought yesterday was significant because here's Luka Doncic postgame going out of his way to say, LeBron had the ball, posted up in the corner, had 9, 10 points, whatever he had in the fourth quarter. I know LeBron wasn't having that great of a game. He's got the ball. You know what LeBron didn't do? Luka. This is my team. I've been here for 7 years. I'm LeBron James. I'm one of the greatest to ever play the game. You're a 26-year-old. You just got here. You wait your turn. This is still my squad. If he did do that, I wouldn't be surprised or shocked or anything along those lines. It's LeBron. Just get a good shot off. I think. But if LeBron decided in that situation, I'm going to back up whoever's guarding me. Clock is ticking. 5, 4, 3. I'm going to take the final shot. I'm either going to go to the basket and either draw a foul, kiss it off the glass, something along those lines, or I'm going to fade away and I'm going to get an 18-foot fade away like I've done for most of my career and see if I can wrap this game up. If he does that, no one's going to say anything. No one's going to be surprised, shocked, or anything like that. Instead, LeBron gets Luka the ball top of the key and says, go to work. Luka gets the ball and says, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Gets to the basket, free throw line extended, inside the free throw line. Luka missed a gimme. Luka, you can't miss that shot, right? I think if Lakers lose the game, then the conversation is, Luka, how are you missing that shot? All right, it happens, is what it is. I thought it was significant that LeBron decided in that moment, Luka, go be Luka. And I thought it was significant that Luka got the ball, got a good shot, exactly what the Lakers were hoping to do. He missed it. But don't think that's not going to have significance the rest of the season and coming into this playoff run for the Lakers. Luka's going out of his way to say, LeBron, I appreciate that he had confidence in me to give me the ball in that situation and make a decision in that moment. And then Luka took the final shot. It didn't end up being the final shot because Bron got the tip in. That seems like a big deal to me. It does. If Anthony Davis is on this team, I don't think LeBron's giving the ball to AD to take that final shot. LeBron's probably going to have the ball top of the key. He's going to make some type of decision. Maybe he's going to do a step-back three-pointer. Lakers fans are going to say, why are you taking a step-back three-pointer? I think there was some significance to that play yesterday. And I think since Luka has been here, what LeBron has done this entire time, hey, starting lineup in the first game, why don't you be the last one called out? Hey, you want to go off for 30, 35 and take a ton of shots? Go ahead and do it. What LeBron hasn't done since Luka has got here, in my opinion, he hasn't gotten in the way. There's been no point so far since Luka's been a Laker where LeBron is sticking his chest out and saying, no, I'm the alpha. This is my team. LeBron is smart enough. He's been in the league long enough. And he still wants to win, that he knows if Luka's the best player on the floor for the Lakers, maybe they can go on a real run. But if Luka doesn't have that, and there's also something here where LeBron has the ability to play off the ball. LeBron has the ability to do things that Luka just can't do. For Luka to be most effective, he's got to have the ball in his hands. That's just kind of how it is. And LeBron has kind of continued in his career. Okay, he's playing with Dwayne Wade. He's playing with Chris Bosh. He's playing with Kyrie Irving. He's playing with Anthony Davis. Kind of mold his game a little bit different everywhere that he was or with every different player that he played with. I thought that was a significant moment yesterday where Luka gives some praise to LeBron, and I thought it was significant that he obviously went out of his way to also give him the ball. So I'm curious to see if people saw it that way as well. But the moment for me that I saw that kind of exchange, and then I really, really like Luka in the postgame saying, could I just say something? I'm appreciative that he did that. He's got the confidence in me, and he didn't just go and get it done, and that was that. That could be significant for the rest of the regular season and in the playoffs in order to see that. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's take a look at some of the comments here. I think people, Luka has a Kobe mentality. Luka's got work to do. All right, let's see what else we got here. Okay, it's an interesting one. Luka isn't Kobe, but he's a guy that will take the shot and miss or make, not care about taking another shot the next game. That's Kobe being Bryant. No, listen. Luka's fearless. You know, I think one of the reasons why Dallas and everyone around the league love Luka, the bigger the moment is, the more that individual is comfortable in that situation. Guys, we know this because we watch a lot of sports. I don't care what you watch. You're a big baseball fan. You're a big NBA fan. You're a big NFL fan. There were certain players that when the moment got bigger, you're like, oh, shit. This guy's going to come through for that team. Maybe you're playing against that team or against that player. Luka ain't afraid of the moments. I think we all know that. Luka's not afraid of the moments. Okay, let's get another one here. Luka and Reeves' defense one-on-one will end the Lakers season. Other teammates can't keep trying to help them every time, every game. Okay, let me say this. Let's just say this is how the Lakers season ends. They just can't play enough defense. That could very well happen. I don't think it would be a shock if the Lakers are out in the second round of the playoffs, right? I also don't think it would be a shock if they got to the Western Conference Finals. We'll see what happens. I mean, Lakers have been kind of a little bit all over the place, so it's kind of tough to judge what this team is on a night-in, night-out basis. However, let's just play out what you just said. Luka and Reeves' one-on-one defense will end the Lakers season. Okay, well, we already know whatever happens this year, there's going to be changes in the offseason that the Lakers are going to have to address to accommodate a superstar that joined the Lakers on February 1st. So that's going to happen either way. Either way, they're going to have to, address a lot of the holes that the Lakers have right now that they're really finding a way to play off of. Peter, I want the ball in his hands, Luka, not LeBron. Okay, you can make that. You can make that case. I disagree with you in the sense that I'm okay with either one of them having the ball as long as they're just listen. If LeBron has the ball and he has an advantage and he's getting to the basket and it's clear LeBron should have the ball, cool. If Luka has the ball because he's Luka and also has this clutch gene and can kind of get any shot that he wants off as well, okay, I get that as well. Which is probably what's going to make the Lakers so hard to guard at the end of games because you have two of those players that can do that. All right, here's Gary A. You celebrate the micro in the win, but forget the 3.5 quarters of trash basketball games shouldn't have even been that close. Gary, I'm going to be honest with you. There were moments, and I was telling you guys how bad the defense was at the end. But, you can celebrate whatever you want from yesterday. Go watch the NBA every single night. There's teams every single night in the league that basically, unless you're OKC, Boston at times, even though Boston have had a few moments, Cleveland just went on a 3-4 game losing streak, whatever they on. It's impossible to play flawless basketball. So that ain't going to happen. If you're hoping for flawless basketball, I don't know what to tell you, brother, but I don't think that's going to be happening. So with all that in mind, I say that to you because it's not about hiding the errors that the Lakers had and the mistakes that the Lakers had, and maybe they stole a game last night. But you're on a little bit of you're going in the wrong direction. Obviously, the team isn't playing all that great right now, and you're just trying to get a W, and you did it against a good Pacers team on the road. Does it really matter? Do the details really matter? They matter when the team is in, they're looking at film and video, but I don't think it matters. They could have easily lost that game 119-118. What would that conversation been? I'll take the W and worry from there. Okay, I got a couple more here that I want to get into, and we'll keep going. John Wayne, no shock or surprise here, does not like when I give LeBron compliments. Nothing I could do about that, John, and you're entitled to your own opinion, so that's okay too. Let's get another one here from John. He's going out of his way to thank him as LeBron is sitting at his locker complaining about having only 6 shots. Come on, Slee. He did have 6 shots through 3 quarters. I talked about this yesterday. And there was a moment in LeBron's postgame yesterday where you could tell there was a little bit like, come on, I had 6 shots through 3 quarters. And maybe the message LeBron is saying, look how willing of a passer I am. Make sure you guys are doing the same thing all around. Let's make sure that ball is moving. But LeBron did say also right after that, we got the win, and that's all that matters. And that's all that matters, I think, for a lot of Laker fans out there too. Tommy, Sliwa, you should have Mason on. I've got that a couple times. I've got a couple people that have mentioned that to me. All right, timing. We'll see. At some point, we'll look to making that happen. Thank you, Tommy. I appreciate the super. John, even though we disagree, I appreciate the super as well. Thank you for that as well. I want to keep moving here, and then I'll come back to some of your comments. Okay, so throw this out there real quick. Lakers and the Chicago Bulls coming up tonight. I'm not going to spend much time on this because I do want to get into some of that Stephen A. and Pat McAfee and all that other stuff that was going on. Okay, real quick here. Lakers and the Bulls coming up tonight. So another back-to-back. You know what I think is significant about this game tonight? By the way, I'll hallucinate if there are guys taking nights off, games off tonight. I mean, if the Bulls want to rest some players, I completely understand. I'm very compassionate towards Chicago resting guys. Maybe Kobe White and Josh Getty. I think those two deserve rest tonight. It's my personal opinion. I'm looking out for the Chicago Bulls. But for the Lakers, unless you got somebody that's just, hey, I can't go tonight, these back-to-backs, injuries, whatever the case is, it'd be really nice to see the Lakers play everybody. We'll see what they end up doing. I did actually see here real quick. Let me look at. Do I think these guys are going to sit out? I don't, but I'm just going to give everyone a heads up, at least as of this morning. Getty has been listed as questionable. Vucevic has been listed as questionable. Kobe White probable. So I think Lonzo is also listed as questionable. Maybe out, maybe not going. So just a heads up from that perspective. We'll see if there's any news on the Lakers as we get a little bit closer to the game, and we'll find out if they're sitting anybody. But this is what I think we find out about tonight's game with the Lakers. I think what we find out tonight about the Lakers is they're kind of a little bit of a ticked off team from getting their asses kicked against Chicago. I don't need to see the Lakers put up 146 like Chicago did against the Lakers. I don't need to see the Lakers win by 31 like Chicago did against the Lakers. But does this game kind of have a little bit more purpose in it? And when I say purpose, what I'm talking about, does it have purpose because the Lakers lost by so much against Chicago, and that was less than a week ago? So it's kind of fresh in everybody's mind. So that portion of it, I'd be curious about. That's what I think we're gonna find out tonight. Also, I think the other thing you're gonna find out is, can you build off of last night's win, or does the momentum just stop in its track? Because if they can win tonight, and now all of a sudden you've took 2 games, your last 2 games on this 4-game road trip, I think Memphis also, the game on Saturday becomes much more significant. And now all of a sudden you feel like, hey, maybe Lakers are turning a corner again as we get ready to get into that final stretch of the regular season. By the time this week is done, there's 2 weeks left in the regular season. So, but the game tonight against Chicago, is it another one of those games where guys are looking at each other and they're not playing defense? Or is it, hey, we got some pride. We're going to play a lot tougher tonight. Whatever Chicago did, we'll be ready for it. We just saw it 5 days ago. We'll be ready for it. So I think there's a lot at stake from that perspective, and we'll see how much significance that has on the Lakers moving forward to tonight's game. Okay, got to give some love, got to give a shout out, our main partner of the show. Thank you very much to Brad Wallace and the Wallace firm. I've mentioned Brad Wallace. I've mentioned his team. Obviously, injury attorneys out here in California. They could help anybody in the state of California. If you or someone close to you has been seriously injured or is dealing with the loss of a loved one, you should find out what legal options you have. And of course, you deserve the right legal team backing you when it comes to holding insurance companies accountable and maximizing case results. My guy, Brad Wallace and his legal team at the Wallace firm, they're the real deal. They consistently win big injury and wrongful death cases, and you won't pay them until they win for you. It's that simple. They're built to win. Proven trial lawyers, like I mentioned. Couple things here that I just want to mention. We got a URL here, wallacewins.com/Sliwa. wallacewins.com/Sliwa. If you want a free consultation, you're in the state of California, you or a loved one has run into a predicament, a situation, I'm sure very intimidating, a daunting process, you've been seriously injured, talk to Brad Wallace. See if he can help you. Just have that free consultation and see if there's a situation there where he could be of help to you or your family or a loved one or a coworker or whatever the case is. wallacewins.com/Sliwa. Again, he can help anybody in the state of California. And if you want me to make a personal introduction, I'm happy to do so as well. Just hit me with an email and I can make a personal introduction. So shout out to them for being a partner, and shout out to everybody for also supporting our partnerships here. I've seen a lot of positive comments that have come in about Brad Wallace and the Wallace firm supporting the channel and everything else. So I appreciate it. That means a lot. All right. Pat McAfee show. LeBron on the Pat McAfee show. See if I can get a couple comments in before we get started. Slee, at this rate, Lakers-Clippers first round is possible. I actually had this in one of my topics, so let me just kind of squeeze this in here real quick. If the playoffs started today, you're right. By the way, there's a lot of scenarios that are still out there. I mean, so many different scenarios that are still out there that can happen between now and April 13th, I think is the final regular season game. But if the playoffs started today, here are your matchups. OKC, Minnesota, first round. Like that. That'd be fun. Houston, Golden State, second round. Okay, that'd be fun. I'm just assuming it's 1 through 8 here. Obviously, playing tournament is a playing tournament. Denver, Clippers. All right, kind of an interesting matchup. Lakers, Grizzlies. You know what I really like about the West right now? There was a time where it was just the same old West. I knew exactly what the Nuggets were. I knew exactly what the Lakers were. Memphis kind of had the same team. Golden State had the same team. Everything is all over the place now. And a lot of these matchups are new. They're fresh. Kind of creates new rivalries. But if the playoffs started today, it's Lakers, Grizzlies. And then Lakers obviously got the Grizzlies coming up on Saturday. So we still got a lot of matchups where we have not seen Luka and LeBron against the Grizzlies, against the Rockets, against the Thunder, against the Warriors. I'm pretty sure not against the Warriors. 6 of the final, maybe 11 games are against those teams. So we're going to get to see some new matchups before the playoffs start. All right, let's see what else we got here. Read a couple more of these, and then I want to talk a little bit about everything else. Let's see what we got. So maybe LeBron just didn't want to be held responsible, and it turned out great in his favor. I don't think he's too worried about that. I don't think he's too worried about that. I want to see a Lakers-Clippers first-round rivalry and no travel time win-win. Alex, I'll tell you this. How those two teams have never faced each other in the playoffs. By the way, I wouldn't mind facing the Clippers in the first round. I wouldn't. I mean, I know Clippers are playing better ball now, but I would take my chances with that. And you know who else I think wouldn't have an issue with that is Luka. Go look at Luka against the Clippers. Go look at Luka against the Clippers. It's completely different. And I get this too. I think a lot of people, what they're trying to point out with this type of matchup is no travel time. You know, you stay at home. That's it. Only thing now all you're doing is you're going from Crypto to Inglewood. That's it. That's the only travel that you got going on. All right, let's talk a little bit here. LeBron on the Pat McAfee show yesterday. A couple people wanted me to talk about this yesterday during the post game. I'm like, slow down, everybody. Slow down. You know, I got another show coming up at 8 a.m. in the morning. Can I have some content for my morning show? So we're going to do it now. And you guys can keep the comments coming, and feel free to throw whatever comments you want in here, and then I'll try to get to them as the show continues, and I'll come back to them. Let me also plug this. I've not been doing a good job in this, so I want to do it real quick. I'm giving everybody a link here if you want to be a Hoops Talk member. If you want to be an MVP member, it's $3 a month. Your support to the channel is everything. And I've said this before, this kind of having your own YouTube channel, you're figuring out and learning that there's kind of a little bit of an ecosystem here. Everything kind of feeds itself. Memberships are going to be very critical to the success of this channel and the growth of this channel. If you can afford it and you want to support the channel, it's $3 a month. So I put it in the chat right there. Would love to get as many members as possible. Tomorrow, right after my show is done, I'm going to do a members-only show, and we'll continue to talk about what we did this week, what we're going to try to do next week, kind of the growth of the channel, everything else. It's a lot more intimate. It's a lot more personal, and it's less about actual sports. It's about the actual channel. So leave that link there, and if you guys can support it, it would be awesome. Okay, let's talk about yesterday. So here are my takeaways from the LeBron on the Pat McAfee show. The Pat McAfee show is based out in Indiana. Lakers playing the Pacers yesterday, so that's why LeBron was able to make that happen. And to be honest with you, listen, let's not pretend here. ESPN is still the worldwide leader in sports. ESPN is still, the Goliath in the room. Now, here's the beauty where we are today. Independent media, independent space. I mean, I could use me as a very, very small example. I know that there's other ways to crack a mic. You don't just have to be at ESPN or Fox or CBS Sports or one of these other places. The world is completely different. But I thought a couple things I took away from LeBron on the Pat McAfee show yesterday. LeBron chose Pat McAfee to come on. Not First Take, not any of these other shows. It's a Pat McAfee show. And Pat McAfee right now is kind of he's the big man in the sports world right now. It's Pat McAfee. You could say a couple. I mean, obviously Shannon Sharpe has done a great job with his independent space as well. Bill Simmons is killing it with what he's doing. I'm sure there's a number, that are out there as well outside of whatever. I mean, hell, Colin Cowherd, aside from what he's doing with Fox, he's got obviously what he's doing. People are making things happen in the industry. But Pat McAfee, LeBron's going in studio and hanging out. He's going to the Pat McAfee show. Okay, I thought that was significant. And then you got all the different topics that kind of came out. All right. The ones that actually went viral, maybe you want to say. There was a few that went viral. And, the timing of this show, just so you guys know, there's a lot of times I might be doing the show and somebody might say, oh, Al, you missed this. This was on First Take, or it's on First Take right now. Obviously, I'm not going to see all of that. So with that in mind, I'm just going to kind of roll with the punches here as best as I can. If I miss some stuff on First Take that you guys want to mention, feel free to do so. But I do have a clip from First Take. Here are the things that I took away yesterday. Number one, I hated LeBron calling out Brian Windhorst. And maybe that one's a little bit more personal to me because I'm a big Windy fan. And Windy has been, for years I was having him on Lakers Talk, my Lakers shows. And then he also showed up to my YouTube show a couple months ago. He came on the show as well. I'm a big fan of Brian Windhorst. But I don't know the personal relationship, so how the hell am I supposed to know? Right? If LeBron is making a point about somebody, I think a lot of people came out to Windhorst's defense, but there's nothing I could do there. I just hated that because I'm a fan of Brian Windhorst. Okay, that was one clip that came out that was pretty viral. Here's another clip that came out. Another clip that came out was his relationship with Michael Jordan. And that he thinks they'll have more of a relationship once LeBron's career is over. Okay, I don't know. I think it's a little bit odd that those two don't talk to each other at all. I've heard people kind of make the speculation, oh, well, it's because Michael Jordan is so competitive and LeBron's mentioned as being one of the GOATs and he doesn't want to talk to him. All right, maybe that's what it is. I have no idea. But that was a clip that obviously had a little bit of significance. And then there's the clip about Stephen A. Smith and how LeBron was explaining, Stephen A. Smith basically missed the entire point of what he was trying to talk about in him, how do you want to put it? Getting in front of Stephen A. during that Lakers game. What was it? Lakers, Knicks, whatever game it was. And what he was trying to say is, I have no problem with anybody talking about any player that's in the league critically about their game. But what LeBron didn't like is that Stephen A. Smith made it personal. And he had to protect him, and he had to protect his family, and kind of go down the list. Those were really the three that went off that I found that most people were talking about, obviously on Twitter, on X, online, everything else, and all the other shows. So Stephen A. Smith, and then LeBron put out, I know somebody had clipped a video of Stephen A. Smith basically saying he would have swung on LeBron if he did anything. And I think Stephen A. also said that, well, thanks for leaving out the part that I would have no chance of beating him, but I'd have to swing. Stephen A. Smith said something this morning that I grabbed. And again, if there's more that's out there that you guys want to share with me, let me know. And I kind of try to do it. It's a little bit difficult while the show's going live. But here's what Stephen A. said. Here is why LeBron James has a problem with Stephen A. Smith. So that's right. Here's another thing that came out. Mind the Game is back. He's going to be Mind the Game is back. That he's going to be doing it with Steve Nash. So there's another one that's on there as well. Take a quick listen here. This is Stephen A. Smith this morning. He is talking about why he thinks why LeBron doesn't like him. Take a listen.
He puts out some page about me, boxing and all of this other stuff from a decade ago with 2 torn rotator cuffs. Fine, no problem. It's very, very embarrassing video. I'll be the first to say and all that stuff, even though I like it to be left up.
All right, real quick here, Stephen A. How'd that video get out? My brother, that video can't get out. It just can't. You can't allow that video to get out. And the 2 rotator cut, all this stuff. I mean, just all he has to say is, guys, listen, I'm not a boxer. I don't know if you guys know this. I'm not a boxer. And if he wants to train for 2 years and put out another video and say before, after, and he looks a lot better, just do that. You don't got to start making excuses about the video. You're not a boxer. You're not supposed to be a boxer. It would be me right now, I don't know, trying to showing you my golf swing. I'm not a golfer. All right, let's keep going here. I want to keep taking a listen here. Stephen A., keep going. Let me actually just rewind it just a little bit. Let's go.
Be the first to say and all that stuff, even though I like it to be left up there. Because if people think I want to throw hands like that, that's how I throw hands, knock yourself out. I'm good with it. I know that the man I am today is not the man that I was a decade ago, physically or beyond. I can tell you that. So we get that out the way. Why do I bring that up? Because that's how petty you've become. You're LeBron James. You that butt hurt over the things that I'm saying, that you would post that video. When has LeBron James ever done something like that? But suddenly you're doing that as it pertains to me. This man is in his feelings. I wonder why. Could it be because I don't believe you're the GOAT? Because I'll never believe you're the GOAT? Because I have you number 2 at all times? Do I have to have ESPN and First Take put up the ticker tape right now and say, yo, could you put that up there, please? Great father, great husband, great philanthropist, great businessman, great director, great producer, great host, great basketball player, great leader. I mean, my God, I have done everything but put diapers and a bib on this brother. But it ain't enough, because one thing matters to him and one thing only, and that's him being recognized as the greatest of all times. Well, you're not in my book. That belongs to Michael Jordan.
All right, stop it there. I'm not stopping it there. The video stopped there. Let me tell you what's fascinating about this entire conversation of what's going on. Okay. These are the two Goliaths in the media. They're the Goliaths. I mean, I was just talking about Pat McAfee and his show and everything else. Pat McAfee's doing his thing. The two Goliaths in sports. You're not having a conversation without talking about LeBron being one of the Goliaths in sports. And whether you like it or not, Stephen A. Smith is a Goliath in the sports world industry. By the way, it ain't just the sports world industry now. Go watch Fox News. He's on Fox News. He's coming on other platforms that is talking about, I don't think he's going to run, but there's been chatter about, is this guy going to run as a Democrat in the next presidential election? He's got his own podcast he's doing now where he's addressing a lot of things that are politically based. People outside of sports know who Stephen A. Smith is. He's a Goliath. You don't have to like him. I'm not here to ask you guys, hey, do you like Stephen A? What I'm trying to tell you is that there are Goliaths right now in the media space. Stephen A. is one of them. And the other one is LeBron James. There's others. There's a lot more than just that. I don't understand that. These two are swinging at each other. I don't even want to play the one. While I had one video on, I had Twitter open, and because I haven't got a chance to listen to this, I don't want to play it. But Stephen A. was going off on a lot more stuff on LeBron James, so maybe that's just going to have to wait for another day. I don't want to play something that I haven't personally heard yet and haven't had a chance to kind of dissect. But these two are swinging at each other. And whatever side that you're on, I really don't care. I mean, looking at most of the comments, I think a lot of people are annoyed and sick of Stephen A. Smith. That's the feeling I get from a lot of these comments. But I also do a daily show that's talking about LeBron James. And trust me, there's plenty of people that are also sick and tired of LeBron James. I might be one of the only few that doesn't care either way. That I'm fine actually with both of these guys. I mean, I don't watch First Take. Stephen A. I wouldn't tell you is my cup of tea. Just stylistically, he's not my cup of tea. There's many more platforms that I think fit a little bit more of my personality and what I want. But with all that said, these two are throwing haymakers at each other. And it's just kind of interesting to watch and unfold. All right, let's take a look at some of the comments here. I mean, could happen. This is the world that we're in today. That's the world that we're in today. Anybody can run. All right, let's get another one there. Stephen A. is swinging, living up to the contract. I will tell you guys this. Whether you guys like it or not, and whether you're a fan of Stephen A. Smith or not, he gets clicks. He gets eyeballs that are turned there. And listen, I've told you guys this before. And my opinion genuinely does not count. He's not my cup of tea. I'll tell you guys a quick Stephen A. Smith story. And again, and somebody had a comment in here that I'm going to go back to that I think is a really, really good point about you can't have a bias towards somebody because of a personal relationship. And you're 100% right. And I was talking about the Windy thing, and I'll highlight that comment in just a second. Quick Stephen A. Smith story. Just a quick one, and we'll keep things moving here. When I was at 710, there were some times when Stephen A. Smith would do a show from our studio because he had his radio show at that time. And I think 2 different occasions I asked Stephen A, hey, do you mind coming on my show, Lakers Talk? Yeah, Lakers Talk, always in the evenings. Had it at 7 o'clock. Both times Stephen A said yes. So like even as, and again, I'm not sitting here. I don't have a dog in the fight. I think it's fascinating just to watch. And I'm telling you guys, Stephen A. Smith's not my cup of tea. All right, somebody say here, Charles Barkley. Yeah, Barkley too. When Barkley talks, people listen. They do. I've had a lot of content on here based on what Charles Barkley has said. I mean, not only, and I think this is kind of fun about the space that I'm in and specifically YouTube, you're breaking down not just games, you're breaking down what people say, you're breaking down their responses, you're breaking down, media versus players. I think that's kind of only if we find it interesting. If we don't find it interesting, that's a different topic. That's a different conversation. All right, let's keep going here. This is the comment that I saw earlier. Slee, if media legends like Windy get facts wrong, reason for signing Nike contract, they should also be called out. Let's put our bias aside. You're 100% right, Seiko. Seiko, I listen. If Windy made a mistake, or if Windy claimed to be his friend and LeBron's like, yeah, that ain't my friend. I guess what I just didn't like is he was so singled out when I'm sure probably this happens more times than not, but you're right about that. And frankly, there isn't enough of that. Maybe this is it's kind of a different world today, because now I think you can call out a lot of these media members or guys that have mics. I think you can call them out because a lot of these guys have their own platforms, or they're going on podcasts where they're on there for 2 hours or an hour or 3 hours, and it's unfiltered. You kind of go into any subject that you can. All right, here's Seiko. Thank you for the super. Everybody who sent in a super, thank you very much. John on here, sending this out to the entire chat. Was there any hate from LeBron during his interview? Let's see if you can be objective. Was there any hate from LeBron during his interview? Yes, there was. I think LeBron definitely has some things inside of him that he wanted to let out. I think, John, I'll just tell you this, and we'll just kind of keep rolling, and I appreciate the super. I think it's safe to say that you definitely do not like LeBron. So even if LeBron did something great, I think you would find a way to say, well, he could have done it greater. That's just how it is. And that's not, I think there's a lot of people that are like that. So appreciate the super here. All right, let's get a couple more in here, and then we'll keep things rolling. I still want to do MLB opening day and go from there. Okay. Let's see. I used to listen to Skip and Stephen A. Smith on ESPN radio every day back in the late 2000s. Their time has passed. Yeah, but I'm going to tell you something. I don't know what the details of Stephen A.'s contract was, but he just re-signed, and he's still there. So maybe Skip's time has passed. Now Skip's doing his own thing, right? He's doing his own podcast. I watched a portion of it where he's calling out Gilbert Arenas a week ago or so. And here's kind of the funny thing. He's still getting clicks too. So I don't know if their time has passed or consuming them is going to be different. Consuming them is going to be different. Or maybe you're just consuming them a lot less. Stephen A. Smith isn't an analyst. He just says crazy things for clicks and views. Unfortunately, I think there's part of the media game today. That's kind of what they want. So that's kind of what they want. All right. I think we're seeing this as well. Let's take a look at this real quick. And we'll do this live here as we sit here. Let's see what else he has here. I'm going to look up Shams here real quick just to read it, if it did kind of go down the way you guys are pointing out. All right. The Los Angeles Lakers. Yep, 10 minutes ago. It's good news right here. This is very, very good news. Let's share this. Let's look at it together as we go. Let's look at this together as we go here, as this just broke about 10 minutes ago. All right, share screen. Sham's putting this out. It's good news for the Lakers. I'm actually a real big fan of this. The Los Angeles Lakers are converting two-way Jordan Goodwin to a standard NBA contract, making him playoff eligible, sources tell ESPN. Goodwin has emerged as a key reserve for J.J. Redick, averaging 6.5 points, 4 rebounds, and 20.5 minutes while shooting 41% from three. Get the other piece of this. The Lakers are waiving Cam Reddish to create roster space for Goodwin, sources tell ESPN. Goodwin has grabbed at least one offensive rebound in 18 of his 19 games played, providing a spark for the Lakers off the bench. It's good news. Let me tell you guys why this is good news. And this is no shade towards Cam Reddish. There actually been a couple of people that have kind of gone out of their way to say, why isn't he playing? Why isn't Cam Reddish playing more? I don't know what happened, but at the end of the day, Cam Reddish was not being used as a Laker, period. And maybe it had something to do. You guys got to remember, and I know we spent a lot of time about this with Dalton Connect getting traded. Cam Reddish was also a part of that trade. Jordan Goodwin is a good player for the Los Angeles Lakers. He is. And he's had impact. And I want a guy like Jordan Goodwin in that Lakers lineup for the rest of this regular season and potentially some moments in the playoffs. So I'm a fan that this happened. I think Cam Reddish, if there was some criticism towards Rob Pelinka in the offseason, he gave Christian Wood, Cam Reddish, and Jackson Hayes all player options in the second year of a minimum contract. And all three of those guys took those minimum contracts because they weren't going to get something else anywhere else. They all took those player options. Jackson Hayes has worked out well. Christian Wood and Cam Reddish have not. So something to keep in mind there. I'm a fan of Jordan Goodwin. So I think that's good news right there. All right, I'm going to stop sharing here. We got a chance to see it. So that's kind of cool that kind of all went down while we were doing the show. Worst kept secret on Goodwin. I don't disagree with you there. Roken, you're the man, brother. Thank you very much for doing that. Roken is gifting 5 MVP memberships. If you're not a member yet, take advantage of that. Swoop those up. They'll go quick. And Roken, I appreciate you doing that. Very, very kind of you to do that. That means 5 individuals on the chat or however you're listening will get a membership for 30 days. And then you could decide after that if that's something that you want to be a part of. So, Roken, thank you very much for doing that. All right, let's keep things moving here. I got some thanks Cam in here. Who's better, Cam or Bronny? Bronny ain't going anywhere. By the way, give Bronny a little bit of credit too. That dude's been balling out in the G League as well. But they got, I guess, enough players in that position, and we know that he's obviously here to stay. All right, let's keep going here. Oh, I like this. One quick, let me just sneak this one in here. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. Phenomenal right there. I need that quote right there. Phenomenal right there. Okay, let's keep things moving here. MLB baseball. I'm going to spend just a quick second here on opening day. And I'm going to talk a little Dodgers. I'm going to talk a little Padres. Okay? All right. I know what you guys want from me. You guys want me to be my authentic self. Born and raised in San Diego, I'm a Padre fan. That's my squad. That's my team. Opening day today. I'm going to do 2 things here. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Dodgers. I'm going to talk a little bit about the San Diego Padres, and then I'm going to read some of these comments, and we're going to call it a show. Whatever team that you rock, and I know in this chat we got, people from everywhere. Go ahead and, rock your hat of whoever it is that you cheer for, and hopefully it's going to be a fun season. I was reading an article this morning, and ESPN had on there, no surprise or anything like that, the Dodgers open as the biggest World Series favorites since the 2002 Yankees. So obviously the Dodgers are all the pressure's on the Dodgers. And by the way, I don't think that means anything. I think everybody knows that. I don't think I'm breaking any news here. So I don't think that's significant there. But I'm just going to show you guys here how much of a favorite that the Dodgers are. And Dodgers are reaching this territory. And I don't think it's going to go anywhere for a while here. We'll see what happens. And I don't even think injuries are going to affect it unless they're key injuries. But I don't even know how much that affects it because they had key injuries last year as well. This is how much of favorites the Dodgers are. The Dodgers are plus 275 to win the World Series, making them the biggest opening day favorites since the 2002 New York Yankees. Dodgers swept the Cubs in 2 games. The preseason win total for the Dodgers is 104 games. That's 10 wins higher than any other team this year. The Atlanta Braves are second at 93.5. The highest total entering any season since 99 Yankees was 104.5. So obviously they're the very, very heavy favorites. Dodgers have entered this very interesting territory that doesn't happen very often in sports. The Patriots at one point, yeah, you're expected to win every year. The Kobe and Shaq Lakers at one point, yeah, you're expected to win every single year. The Kansas City Chiefs, yeah, you're expected to win every single year. If you don't win a Super Bowl, it was a disappointment. And the territory, you go back to the Yankees in the early 2000s, that's kind of where they were. The territory that the Dodgers are in right now, you either won a World Series or it was the worst season. That's the territory that the Dodgers have walked into. And I don't think that's going to change for years to come because the Dodgers won a World Series last year. They didn't have Tyler Glass now. Shohei really wasn't 100% healthy in the World Series. Shohei also didn't pitch. Their rotation was a little bit all over the place. Guys like Dustin May, Tony Gonsolin, they had guys that were missing there. And they still won a World Series. And in the offseason, the Dodgers went out there, got Roki Sasaki, Blake Snell, Tanner Scott, Kirby Yates. Shohei Ohtani is supposed to get back on the mound. Re-signed Teoscar Hernandez. Tommy Edman was a great addition to them, and he re-signs with the Dodgers as well. The Dodgers have just really simply created moving forward. They either have to win a World Series or it's a failed season. That's not normal territory. So that obviously is me giving credit to what that organization has done. I think they have completely took advantage of the system to their benefit, and they're supposed to do that. And I think they're, obviously the destination right now where a lot of people want to go to, and they're going to throw as much money as it takes to try to win. So that's baseball in a nutshell. The Dodgers and 29 other teams chasing that one team. That's how I look at this upcoming season. I look at 29 squads chasing one. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Yesterday I was talking about, there was Jeff Passan was on Foul Territory. Good podcast if you're a baseball fan. He's on Foul Territory, and they were talking a little bit about, what happens in 2026. And, Jeff Passan, to be honest, I don't know if I fully understand Jeff Passan's angle on a lot of this stuff. He's saying this is the golden era of baseball, and, why would you stop with the momentum and everything else? I think there's a lot of people that are not crazy about the system of Major League Baseball. And I get it. If you're a Dodger fan, you love the system of baseball. You also have great ownership and great front office. I think sometimes it gets lost that, well, just because they have money and they're in the LA market, that's the only reason why they're winning. No, they got a top 3, top 5 farm system. They crop their own players, and then they go out there and they obviously spend, but they spend on the right guys too. Everybody's going to be chasing the Dodgers. It's going to be interesting. My squad, the San Diego Padres. An absolute gut punch, and it still hurts, and it will hurt for a long time. You lost in Game 5 at Dodger Stadium. Obviously, Dodgers end up winning that series 3-2. Padres are up 2-1, couldn't close it out. Shit happens in baseball. But an absolute gut punch. Ugly offseason internally. You got the family fighting. I don't know what the hell, I don't know what happens there. You really don't add much talent. You're probably now looking at it third best in the NL West. I think Arizona's going to ball out this year. Expectations for my squad, stay in the mix. Be around 500. The goal is to try to grab a wild card spot. See if AJ Preller can make some creative moves like he has these last couple of years and just be in the mix and see what the F happens. So those were really the only real baseball stuff. Now that we're going to actually have games going on, we'll see. We'll see how much I incorporate baseball and everything else. I think right now, obviously, it's significantly tough to do so just because, at the end of the day, this is a Lakers/NBA channel. But, what I'm trying to do, and my hope is I want this to be a 12 months out of the year show. And with that in mind, we'll incorporate some stuff, but we got to find stuff that makes sense and that the masses want. So let's go from there. All right, let's read a couple of these here and then and let's go from there. Slee needs a Dodger press pass. 100% when the Padres are in LA. Dodgers won last year by out hitting everyone. This time they will shut you down and beat you up with their pitching. They didn't do that just by that. I mean, their bullpen was incredible last year. Their bullpen was supposed to be the weak link going into the playoffs. Their bullpen, I thought, won them a World Series. I really did. I mean, their bullpen was incredible. So I think there was more to it than just hitting. All right, let's see what else we got here. BC, the arrows are the wrong way. You gotta San Diego's the other way. You gotta turn it the other way. Padres going to be solid. I don't know what's going to happen. I will tell you this. They didn't really add much. There's a couple of people I really respect their opinion. Every time I have Doug McCain on or I have a conversation with him and we talk baseball, he always says that he thinks the Padres will be better than people think. And we'll see what happens. Matt Moreno that I've had on too, obviously does Dodgers blue. So there's a few people that I've had on that cover the Dodgers and give me an opinion on the Padres. I'm like, okay, well, that makes me feel a little bit better. But guys, there's such a gap between the Dodgers and everybody else. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. There's such a gap between the two franchises. Not by the way, not even just the Dodgers and the Padres, just the gap with everybody. I want the Padres to switch with the Angels. I want the Angels to go in the NL West and have to go through the Dodgers, and I want the Padres to go to the American League. Can we do that? All right, let's keep going here. Let's see what else we have here. Slee, off the grid question. Who are you taking it about between George Foreman and Deontay Wilder? Foreman was a beast. He was a beast. All right, let's see what else we have here. A couple more here. Hey, you might be right about that. Listen, there's nothing to say unless you win. So I will tell you this. Padres have made the playoffs 3 of the last 5 years. Every year they had to go through the Dodgers. They beat them one year. No, Dodgers beat them the first year. If you guys remember, that was the shortened season. Padres beat them in 4 the year after. And then the following year, it's a 5-game set. And it goes to game 5, and game 5's 2-0. But it doesn't, what the final result is either you won or you lost. And that's all that matters. So I'm not trying to there's no significance unless you win. So we'll keep that one in mind. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you very much. I did love Tony. His son wasn't good. Chris Gwynn. He does a phenomenal job. He does a radio show down in San Diego. I'm a fan of his, and his voice is identical to Tony Gwynn. Yeah, Tony Gwynn has got a. Tony Gwynn has a, or Tony Gwynn Jr. Tony Gwynn Jr. Chris Gwynn is another son of theirs. Tony Gwynn has a very, very significant place in San Diego. The heart of San Diego. Tony Gwynn's a big piece of it. All right, my people, I think we're good today. I think we did a phenomenal job today. I appreciate you guys all hanging out. I appreciate, kind of quick thing here. As we get to tonight, Lakers got Chicago. They got the Bulls, and they'll be playing, obviously. We'll do the post-game show right after Lakers and the Bulls are done. This was a good show today, and I'll tell you guys why. I feel like from a comment perspective, everybody hanging out, good vibe, so I appreciate all that. I will be back tonight after Lakers and the Chicago Bulls. Let's see if the Lakers can get one. Let's see if the Lake Show can kind of put themselves in a position where they can get a little bit of payback and everything else. So we'll see how it all goes. Keep it business. I like this. Yes, go handle business tonight. Thank you for being a part of the show. Please subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe if you haven't. We'll see you guys later tonight. Thanks, everybody.